The cloud. Some people trust it, some people don't. Many people don't understand it. But when we want our games, our bank apps, our smart beds even to work, many times it's cloud services that are making this happen. But what happens when those cloud services fail and the cloud falls apart? Today, we're going to be diving into the recent massive outages, not only at AWS or Amazon Web Services, but also with Microsoft Azure, as there was an outage today, as I'm filming this, that affected many platforms across the web. And why these are not just tech glitches, they're actually wake up calls for how fragile our digital lives really are. All right, so what went down? What exactly happened? Maybe you missed it. Maybe you've had your head under a rock. Maybe you've been in a coma. Whatever the situation is, maybe you missed the big news. Well, on October 20, 2025, AWS suffered a major outage triggered by a bug in its DNS or internal network systems here in the US. This affected services like online banking, Snapchat, Fortnite, Wordly, and even smart beds, all impacted by this. So that's pretty huge. That's a lot of things, right? Just days later, 9 days later, today, as I film this, in fact, the whole reason that made me want to do this video, Microsoft Azure and its productivity services, things like Office 365, Xbox Live, and other Microsoft services, all went down globally, so all around the world. This was because of an issue with its content delivery or front door services. Now, these weren't trivial or isolated. They rippled across multiple industries, affecting multiple countries and multiple platforms. So, yeah, it's a big deal. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, okay, so what? Some applications went down for a few hours, a couple services, big deal. But here's why this is much bigger than you think. These outages show just how much of our digital life is consolidated under a few cloud platforms, just a few cloud providers, okay? So again, Azure and AWS are huge. When they go down, everything underneath them goes down with them, okay? That's a lot of different services dropping just because one thing has an issue. Everyday items you might not expect can be affected. When this happened, users of the connected smart beds by 8 Sleep, well, they found they couldn't control their beds during the AWS outage, okay? Temperature, incline, alarms, all glitched out, okay? So it's not just your computer, it's not just your smartphone. A lot of the stuff in your house now are smart devices or IoT, Internet of Things. They get affected by these cloud services going down when this happens, okay? Now, businesses, they really get affected. Imagine banks, airlines, studios, hospitals, they all rely on these cloud platforms to do the job that they do every day. That could be a huge issue, especially with a hospital, guys. Think about that, a hospital going down. If they don't have access to the things they need, this could be detrimental to the patients. If you've got an airline, you might get backed up on your flight. Banks, that's kind of huge. Nobody wants our money messed with if we're trying to make transfers, if we need to gain access to our online banking, whatever it may be. We might not have access to it, okay? So the real world consequences, they start to mount. Downtime, lost data, trust problems across the board, okay? And now here's where the controversial bit kicks in. We're too dependent. We've built this entire ecosystem assuming that cloud services will just always work. But they don't. As we've seen, they can, in fact, fail. The infrastructure for it is vast, but it has weak points. Experts say the cloud was designed for resilience, but we've ended up concentrating critical services to just a few players. That's right, so a few players in the game hold all the cards, AWS and Microsoft Azure being the biggest two. That creates single points of major failure. So if AWS or Azure gets hit, not by hacking, but just by a simple configuration change or an internal bug, entire segments of the internet get wobbly. That's not paranoia, it's real and it's scary. Let's get selfish for a minute. Let's talk about how this affects us, how it's going to affect you personally in your life. Well, banking apps, if they go down, you might not be able to transfer money, access your money, use your card. You might not be able to get in to see anything. Your smart home devices like your thermostat could stop working. Your digital locks could stop letting you in. Your bed might get stuck into a weird position. Okay, we're getting dramatic now, but the beds were affected. We just saw that with the AWS outage. Imagine your bed not being able to tilt it or to do whatever you need to with it, right? You could get stuck in it or something like that. Your security cameras could fail. That one's much more realistic and a reality and a scary one, right? Some people need their security cameras to keep their businesses, keep their homes safe. AWS goes out or Microsoft Azure goes out. These services could go out too if they're connected to it. Your workflow could definitely be affected. A lot of us rely on cloud-based software without realizing it. Your deadlines could slip, your files could become unreachable, and the data that you were working on could even be lost. And let's even talk about it from an entertainment standpoint. Games, streaming, communication apps, they all drop offline when these things go down too, leaving us with nothing to do. So not only can we not work, our homes aren't working correctly, we can't access our money possibly, well, we don't even have anything to do to fill our time. We might actually have to go outside for a little bit. Not so bad, but still, all of these things could massively affect our lives and hurt us in many, many ways. Okay, so now we've talked about the problem. Well, here's the solution, or how you can mitigate the damage that this causes in your everyday life, okay? Don't assume. Never assume that the cloud is always going to be up or always running, okay? It doesn't always have your back. If you're using cloud synchronization programs like OneDrive, Google Drive for your files, or any sort of a cloud backup, it's a good idea to have a local backup too, just in case those services go down or your internet goes down, things like that. You still have your files right there on that external drive or whatever you're using, so you can access them quickly when you need them. You're not relying completely on the cloud. Now, in your home, smart devices, check how they behave offline, okay? Now, a lot of the things in our home, like things I mentioned, thermostats, beds, clocks, different things like that, they all rely on the internet now. They rely on these cloud services. If your tech fully relies on the internet and these tech services or these cloud services out there, it might not be a good idea to use it. You might need to diversify. You might need to get some tech that works just as well offline as it does online, okay? And while we're talking about that, let's talk about the banking. Banking's a huge one. If your banking app goes down or you don't have access to your bank account, that could mean trouble for you. Might be a good idea to think about local banking in case you need to make a phone call or walk on down to your local branch to get your money or whatever you might need to do, with your bank, okay? Might not be a bad idea. The other thing to do that any of us can do is just stay aware. As these companies make changes like configuration updates, auto-scaling tweaks, or whatever they're changing, that's usually when the issue happens or when things go haywire. So watch the news, watch online. When these companies go to make those changes, be ready, be prepared, and see what you can do out of everything I just mentioned to basically prepare for the chance that the servers or these cloud services may go down and then everything you have goes down with it. You don't want to be in that boat. Having some technology that works offline is important. And look, technology has brought us an enormous benefits, okay? Enormous benefits from technology. I'm not arguing that. I love technology. It makes my life easier. I use it all the time. Probably makes your life easier if you're watching this. I guarantee it. In some way, shape, or form, you use technology every day, and it makes your life easier. It's great. But what these outages show us is that we've built this massive house of cards on the theory that it'll always work. And the fact of the matter is, that's not a good foundation to build on because it doesn't always work, okay? And when it fails, and it will fail again, the ripple effects hit us all very hard. So, the next time you see a spinning wheel when you're trying to sign into an app, or your smart device or your smartphone or whatever stops responding all of a sudden, you may need to ask yourself, why didn't I have a fallback? Knowing that AWS, Azure platforms, things like that, they're not perfect. Get yourself a backup plan, okay? Now, if you like this video, please hit that like and subscribe before you go. If you're having trouble with your technology, reach out to us via the number at the beginning, into the video. Here it is on screen for a little bit, okay? We'd be happy to help, okay? And make sure, again, to hit that subscribe for more tech truths. As these things come out, we'll cover them. Things going on with technology, we cover it. You want to see how to do something, drop it in the comments. I'll show you, as long as it's related to technology, okay? And if you're down there in the comments and you were affected by these outages, I'd love to hear what you experienced, what you saw, what happened, what was affected, all that stuff, okay? Drop those comments down below so I can read them. I do, in fact, read all of them. And thanks again for watching, everybody. I'll see you on the next one.